Hi everyone, my name is Moumen. I'm a solutions architect here in Mixpanel. Today I'm making this video to show you the answers for the 3 questions that were selected for the Q&A on the 15th of November. So starting with the first one, how do I track the conversion funnel for our user experience where we have 2 population types, tech applicants and business applicants, on a recruitment platform? The first 6 steps are common to both, then it starts to differ based on the job chosen. So this is a very interesting question, and what we've done is to basically send some test data to a test project. So as you can see here, I have some events that we labeled as step 1, step 2, step 3, and step 4. Now let's pretend that we don't know the value of the population type on step 1, and we know that value, however, on the later steps on the funnel. So maybe we know that value on step 3 or step 4. We will still be able to answer this question by making use of the last touch attribution here on the filter. So if we select the population type as a filter, and then we select whether we want to filter by applicant or by business population type, if we select last touch, this means that it will look for the last time this property was set, and then it would basically backfill it for the earlier steps of the funnel. So as an example, if in step 2, this population type was not found, in step 3, it was something different to applicant, and in step 4, this was applicant, then basically Mixpanel will then backfill applicant to all the other steps. So it will basically reassign this to the earlier steps of the funnel. So we can either select applicant and business, and then we can basically monitor the conversion rates on the right. We can also make use of the breakdown. So if I add a breakdown by population type, then I can see the difference between conversion rates between the applicant and the business population types. Again, so you can see here that the last touch attribution is also selected. So this should give you the answer to what you're looking for. So jumping into the second question, what is the best way to get a report of inactive users who haven't logged in or did any activity after 24, 72 hours, etc.? So in this case, we can use cohorts. And for context, cohorts are essentially a group of users that share a similar attribute. That can be a shared property or a sequence of events. So within Mixpanel, you can create cohorts from pretty much anywhere. You can do this directly from any of the 4 reports. So let's say I have an insights report in here. I can create a cohort directly from here. So if I click on the plus sign here and I select cohort, I can create a custom cohort directly from here. And then I can start selecting what my criteria is. I can also create cohorts from the users page directly by specifying the criteria here, and then just save my cohort. And I can do this from the data management menu item, and I can just click on cohorts and just do the same thing. Create a cohort and then specify my criteria here. Now let's go back to the users page and start plotting our cohort. Now, if you remember, we want to get a report of inactive users who haven't logged in after 24 hours. Let's take that example. So I can click on the plus filter. I can select the sign up in this case. In your case, you can select login. And I can change who did to who did not do. So basically, this will give me a list of all the users who did not do sign up in the last 30 days. And you can change this to, let's say, the past day. And this will update to show you the users who did not do sign up in the last day. If you choose to select a longer time frame, you can either do this by week or month, or you can do this by selecting a since date, which will basically show you the group of users who did not do sign up since the date you specified here. Or you can also choose a fixed date. So let's say from July 16th to July 17th. So this is how you would create a cohort of users who haven't logged in the past 24 hours. Now, to save that cohort, you would need to click on Save As, and then just give it a name. So I'm just going to name it Did Not Do Sign Up in the last 24 hours. You can also add a description if needed. And then I click Save. And this will save my cohort. Once we create the cohort, we're ready to start doing some analysis. So on the Insights report, you can select whether you want to start doing an analysis for an event or a cohort. Now, in this case, I'll select cohort, and then I will select the cohort that I just created. So did not do sign up in the last 24 hours. So this will show you the trend over time for the users that have entered or exited this cohort. So for instance, on July 7th, we have a 0.02% increase from the previous day. Now you could also do things like adding this cohort on a filter. Now let's say you're trying to get the top events from the people who haven't signed up in the last day. What you can do is add this cohort as a filter. By clicking on the drop-down menu here, I can scroll down and click cohorts and select my newly added cohort. And to see the top events for these users, I can select all events. And then I can break this down by event name. And if I change from line to bar, I can see the top events for users who did not do sign up in the last 24 hours. So in the case of this project, I can see that my users, most of the users in this cohort send a message, visit the landing page as well. They join the channel. And I can also do things like, I want to know, let's say, the country of these users in this cohort. And I can also add this breakdown, and this will show me what are the countries from where these users are basically firing these top events. Now, if you wanted to get a report of inactive users who haven't done any activity on the 24 hours, what you can do is go back to the users page or wherever you want to create your cohort from, and click on the drop-down menu, click users who did, and then you can select any event from here and change this from did to did not do. And basically what this will do is it will show you all of the users who did not do any events in the last 30 days. But in our case, I want to see the users who did not do any events in the last day, so 24 hours. And this is how you would create a cohort for users who haven't done any events in the last day. And you can change the date range to your liking. Okay, so let's jump into our third and final question for the day. We are looking to run a migration to start using a different ID for our users when it comes to third-party tooling. I am wondering what the right call is to update the IDs and merge the accounts in Mixpanel so their old events will still exist, but the Mixpanel user ID property will become new ID. Should I be using aliasing or identity merging? Now, this is a very good question, and we actually recommend against using merge in this case, since once the merge happens, one of the profiles will be hidden, and we don't actually have control over which one of the two profiles will end up being hidden. So in this case, what we recommend doing is that before you do any updates, you call alias. And what this will do is it will tell Mixpanel that, okay, we have this new user ID that we want to include in the identity cluster of the existing user that we have. And so Mixpanel will then assign any events that come with this new ID to the right profile, because you've already instructed Mixpanel to basically include that user ID in the identity cluster. So before any updates are done, call alias with your new user ID. And then once that's done, then you're ready to make that updates, and any events coming through will then be assigned to the right user. So yeah, hopefully this has been helpful, and I hope to see you in our next QA session. Thanks, and bye-bye.